Summertime, time to take that long-awaited vacation. I don't know, maybe the Grand Canyon. How about Niagara Falls? Or maybe you want to take your kids to Disneyland. You get to the airport, the kids are excited about seeing Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or riding Space Mountain, and whammo, your innocent family vacation goes off the rails, all because an overzealous TSA agent decides your 6-year-old needed to be patted down. So what's going on with these TSA agents that they feel the need to frisk 6-year-olds and 93-year-old grandmas? Really? Meanwhile, the actual threats are still very real. Just this weekend, a taser was left in a seat pocket of a JetBlue flight from Boston to get on the plane anyway. And remember this guy, the Nigerian student who was caught with 10 boarding passes in his luggage. By the way, he was caught after flying across country. Joining me now is Frank Gaffney from the Center for Security Policy, which searches for emerging threats to national security. Frank, is it time for the TSA manual to be revamped?
Yeah, I think so. What we're witnessing, of course, is the TSA behaving in absurd ways because they can't actually use common sense to pursue their mission. And as long as that's the case, we're going to continue to find, I think, these sorts of pat-downs of people who are clearly not a threat, and we're going to continue to see, I think, people who could conceivably be given a sort of more favored treatment. And that's the worrying thing. If you're not using triage, I think is the best word for it, if you're not able to prioritize the use of limited resources in sensible, effective ways, like the Israelis do, for example. There's nobody better in the business than they. By looking for the demographic that is the most obvious source of the potential threat. They're males. They typically are between 18 and 40. They often are from a certain part of the world, South Asia, the Middle East, what have you. As long as we regard all of that as politically incorrect, we're going to find ourselves, I think, not only inconveniencing a lot of people needlessly and in increasingly aggressive and embarrassing ways, we're going to be continuing to leave ourselves really vulnerable. And the worst of it is this, that the enemy, the people who by and large have in common their adherence to what they call Sharia. And by the way, we've done a book on the subject, Sharia, the Threat to America, which I really commend to your listeners. These people are going to interpret that kind of behavior as submission, and that only makes them redouble the effort to do us grave harm.
So, Frank, I'm trying to read through the lines here. Are you suggesting profiling, and if so, what kind?
It's not profiling. It literally is triage. It's looking for where you can do the most good, as I say, with limited resources. And I've indicated a couple of things that you obviously look for. And you use techniques like the Israelis use. You question people at the airport. You don't just rubber stamp their IDs and push them through the line and then on some completely random basis start strip searching them. I mean, that's crazy. It's a misapplication of resources, and it assures that you're going to be looking the other way when there are people that you should be looking at or going through. And, you know, let's be honest. If we persist in this, we're going to have people successfully perpetrating further attacks. It's unnecessary, and there will be hell to pay if afterwards we realize that this was both preventable and something that we knew shouldn't be done.
And Frank, very quickly, less than maybe a half a minute or so, how is it that we have 2 6-year-olds that were patted down, a 90-year-old that had to remove her adult diaper, yet there's a gentleman who was a Nigerian student traveling across country? When he gets across country, they check his luggage. He's got 10 boarding passes. Where's the breakdown?
I think the breakdown is, as I said, we're not looking in the obvious places because we are telling our TSA people they've got to look at everybody as though they're equally problematic. It's absurd. It's reckless. The American people are getting fed up with it, and they'll be really peeved if it gets bad, as I think it will.
All right. Thank you very much, Frank Gaffney, for joining us. All right, let's bring it out to the panel. Bo, you want to